20 reasons 70s kids were tougher. Number 1, no internet. If you were a kid in the 70s, answers did not come from Google, Siri, or YouTube. You had to open an encyclopedia, walk to the library, ask a teacher, or figure things out the hard way. Even a simple school report meant flipping through books and writing notes by hand. Information was slower, but kids learned patience, curiosity, and how to actually search for answers. Number 2, no privacy on the phone. The family phone was usually on the kitchen wall, in the hallway, or sitting where everybody could hear it. That long curly cord gave you just enough freedom to stretch into the next room, but not enough to escape your mother's ears. If your friend called, the whole house knew. Private conversations were not promised. You earned them one whispered sentence at a time. Number 3, kids were the remote. Before remote controls became common in every living room, children had a very important job. If Dad wanted the channel changed, he called you over to turn the TV dial. Sometimes you also had to adjust the rabbit ear antenna until the picture stopped looking snowy. With ABC, CBS, NBC, and PBS, there were not many choices, but somehow changing them still became your responsibility. Number 4, Saturday morning cartoons only. Saturday morning cartoons felt like a weekly appointment. Kids woke up early, poured cereal, sat close to the television, and watched before the adults took over the day. There was no streaming, no replay button, and no watching clips later on a phone. If you missed your favorite show, that was it. You waited 7 days and hoped you woke up on time next Saturday. Number 5, 4 TV channels. Many 70s homes had only a few major channels, and one of them always seemed fuzzy. There was no endless scrolling, no thumbnails, and no algorithm feeding you something new every 10 seconds. You either watched what was on, adjusted the antenna, or went outside. Boredom was not treated like a crisis. It was just part of growing up. Number 6, playdates didn't exist. In the 70s, your mother usually did not call another parent to schedule fun. You got on your bike, walked down the block, knocked on your friend's door, and hoped they were home. Sometimes they were busy. Sometimes they were grounded. Sometimes nobody answered. That tiny moment taught kids confidence, rejection, patience, and how to make their own plans. Number 7, no GPS. Family road trips meant paper maps, highway signs, and somebody in the front seat saying, "Are we going the right way?" Kids sometimes had to help find little town names while the car was moving. The map never folded back the same way twice. Getting lost was normal, asking for directions was humbling, and somehow families still made it to the motel by night. Number 8, corporal punishment was normal. Many 70s kids grew up in homes and schools where discipline was much stricter. Teachers, coaches, and parents often used methods that would not be accepted today, and for good reason. But back then, children knew adults meant business. Whether people agree with it now or not, kids from that era remember one thing clearly: warnings did not last forever. Number 9, you had to use film cameras. There was no checking your photo right after taking it. A roll of film gave you 24 or 36 chances, and then you waited for the drugstore to develop it. Sometimes the picture came back blurry. Sometimes someone blinked. Sometimes a thumb covered the lens. Every good photo felt valuable because you could not instantly take 50 more. Number 10, people smoked everywhere in the 70s. 70s kids saw cigarette smoke in places that sound unbelievable today. Restaurants, airplanes, bowling alleys, hotel rooms, offices, and cars with the windows barely open. Ashtrays were built into tables, armrests, and dashboards like they belonged there. Kids did not think it was strange because smoking culture was everywhere. Looking back, it feels like a completely different America. Number 11, playgrounds weren't safe. Old playgrounds were built rough. Metal slides got hot under the summer sun. Monkey bars stood over dirt, gravel, or even pavement. Merry-go-rounds spun until somebody fell off laughing or crying. There were fewer soft surfaces, fewer warning signs, and a lot more scraped knees. If you got hurt, you usually brushed off the dust and kept playing. Number 12, you recorded music onto cassette tapes. If a 70s kid wanted a favorite song, they could not just save it to a playlist. They waited by the radio with a blank cassette ready. Timing was everything. Press record too early and you caught the DJ talking. Press too late and you missed the first verse. A homemade tape took patience, luck, and real dedication. Number 13, you had to memorize phone numbers. There were no contact lists in your pocket. Kids memorized their home number, their best friend's number, grandparents' number, and maybe dad's work number. If you forgot, you checked a little address book or asked someone. Knowing a phone number felt like knowing a secret code. Memory was not optional. It was part of daily life. Number 14, gym class was brutal. Gym class in the 70s could feel like survival training. Rope climbs, time runs, sit-up tests, awkward uniforms, and hard red rubber dodgeballs were all part of the experience. Dodgeball was not always fun for everyone. Sometimes it felt like a test of reflexes and pride. If you got picked last, everybody noticed. Then you came back next week and tried again. Number 15, long-distance calls cost money. Calling relatives in another state was not casual. Long-distance calls showed up on the phone bill, so conversations were shorter and more serious. Nobody stayed on the line for an hour saying nothing. Kids learned that distance had a price, and hearing a faraway voice felt important because the call actually cost something. Number 16, no participation trophies. In many 70s sports leagues, you got a trophy because you won, not because you showed up. Second place might get a handshake, a team photo, or a quiet ride home. That could feel harsh, but it taught kids how to lose without falling apart. The lesson was simple: practice more, come back, and try again. Number 17, riding in the back of the station wagon. The back of a station wagon was basically a rolling fort. Kids faced backward, stretched out with coloring books, argued with siblings, or watched the road disappear behind them. Seatbelt habits were nothing like today. At the time, it felt like normal family travel. Now the same scene would make modern parents nervous in seconds. Number 18, you had one pair of good shoes. A lot of kids did not have separate shoes for every activity. One pair might handle school, church, gym class, chores, bike rides, and playing in the yard. If they got dirty, you cleaned them. If they started wearing out, you kept wearing them. New shoes were not automatic. They came when the old ones finally gave up. Number 19, losing something meant really losing it. There was no Find My app, no AirTag, and no location ping. If you lost your bike, jacket, lunchbox, or favorite toy, you retraced your steps and hoped someone honest found it. Sometimes it came back. Sometimes it was gone forever. 70s kids learned responsibility because the world did not come with a tracking device. Number 20, no online shopping. If your family needed groceries, school clothes, shoes, or a birthday gift, somebody had to leave the house. There was no 2-day shipping, no doorstep delivery, and no tracking number. Kids tagged along to stores, waited in lines, compared prices, and learned that getting something took time. Convenience was not instant. You had to go get it. 70s childhood was not perfect, and nobody needs to pretend it was. But it raised kids who knew how to wait, solve problems, handle boredom, and make do with what they had. Which one made 70s kids the toughest?